Okay, so today we're going to talk about the surface area of prisms. So surface area is all about the area of the surfaces of your shape. So we're going to talk about a rectangular prism first. So I'm going to show you how to draw one. And if you start out with a rectangle in that corner and then do another one, try to make it about the same size. And then if you connect your corners, you got your rectangular prism. Okay, let's label this 7 inches, 9 inches, and 13 inches. Okay, so my next question is, how many rectangles are represented in this prism? Well, you got 1 in the front, 2 in the back, 3, 4, 5, 6 rectangles. And if you look at your little reference sheet that I gave you, you can find the area of a rectangle. It's just length times width. So that's all that we're going to have to do for this one. So the first rectangle I always see is the front one here, the 7 by 9. So I'm going to take 7 times 9 because that's my length times my width. But there's also another 7 by 9, and that's this one in the back. It's another 7 by 9. So I'm just going to multiply this by 2 since there are 2 7 by 9s. That gives me 126. Okay, the other rectangle that I see is the one on the side here. And that one would be a 13 by 7. 13 by 7. So 13 by 7. And then there's another one on this side. So I would multiply that by 2. And that one's 182. Okay, and then the last one I see is this top one. And that is a 13 by 9. 13 by 9. And there's a bottom one as well, so 2 of those. Okay, so I have all of my areas. I have 6 rectangles because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rectangles represented here. And I'm going to add up all of them now to find my area. I don't multiply them, I add them. So you should get 542 inches squared. Okay, so just to recap, the reason I have these 2's here is because there's always a pair of rectangles. That's just how prisms are made. There's always a pair. Unless it was a perfect cube, then you could find one rectangle and multiply it by 6 because they all would be the same since they are squares. But on your homework, most of the time, you're going to have to multiply them by 2 since they're pairs. If this confuses you with the different faces and what belongs to what, don't worry about that. I took 7 times 9, then I took 7 times 13. Then I took 9 times 13 because I was done using the 7. So as long as you multiply the variety, you're good to go.
Person cat in your mother's room now.
All right, that's what happens after school to teachers' kids. Okay, so let's do another one, example 2. I'm going to draw a different shape here. Still a rectangular prism. Okay, let's do 6 meters, 10 meters, and 3 meters. So once again, we have 3 rectangles. Let's just do this side one here. That would be a 10 by 3. And there's another side one here, so times 2. And that would be 60. And I see this side one here, or front one, I guess. And that would be a 6 by 3 times 2, because there's also the back one here. 36. And then this top one and bottom one, that would be a 10 by 6 times 2. So 120. Okay, and then I'm going to add all of them up. So 216 meters squared. Okay, and that is rectangular prisms. Let's move on to triangular prisms. Okay, let's just do a right triangle one. Draw another right triangle here. It looks like that. Let's label it 4, 5, 12, and then 6.4. Okay, so what two shapes do we see here? Well, I see two triangles. This one and that one, front and back. Plus, I have 3 rectangles. And that's just the rectangle wrapping off of each side of my triangle. Okay, so if we look at our triangle formula for the area of a triangle, it's 1/2 BH. Area of a rectangle, we just got done doing that. That's just length times width. So we're going to use both of those now. So I have how many triangles? 2. And they happen to be the same size. So I'm just going to say I have 2 triangles and then start out with your triangle formula. 1/2. Now I'm just talking about the base, meaning this triangle or that triangle, depending on which one you want to look at. What is my base of this triangle? Well, 5. 5's the bottom of it. What is the height of this triangle? Well, my height is 4. Okay, your base and height on a right triangle always have to be like sitting on the right angle. 6.4 is never going to be my base or my height because it's not even a straight edge. It's linked. Okay, so go ahead and find out what that is. That would be 20. Okay, now we got the 3 rectangles. So my first rectangle, well, all of my rectangles are going to be multiplied by what? See how the 12 has nothing to do with the triangles? The 12 only deals with the rectangles. So I know all 3 of my triangles, I meant rectangles, are going to be multiplied by 12. Now I just have to figure out what the length or what the width or length, depending on what way you look at it, is. Well, I know my bottom one here is going to be a 5 by 12. My side one here that we can see here is a, what is that length? That length is 6.4. And then this one that we see over here is a 4 by 12. So you really just take, I have your 3 sides of your triangle, 5, 4, and 6.4, and you multiply them all by the width of your shape. Okay, so let me go through and do this. That'd be 48. This one would be 60. Type this one in, 6.4 times 12, 76.8. Okay, so now I'm taking 20 plus that, plus that, plus that to get my final answer. You should get 204.8. Whenever we don't have any units on it, we just say units squared. Okay, and that is surface area for triangular prisms and rectangular prisms.